Hello viewers, how are you all doing? If you're watching me from wherever you are, it shows you're doing fine, you're doing just great. Okay, it's basic technology and your instructor is Mr. Tony. Our topic is woodwork hand tools and we're going to be considering cutting tools specifically. Okay, at the end of this lesson, you students should be able to first define woodwork cutting tool, list 5 woodwork cutting tool, and then you should at least be able to identify 3 uses of woodwork cutting tools. Let's consider the definition. A woodwork cutting tool is a sharp-edged device used to remove excess layers of material, or you can obtain a desired shape, either by planing or by shearing. First, in woodwork cutting tools, several of these tools are used. We have the saws, planes, and then spoke shapes. First on our lists are the saws. There are different types of saws, but we're going to consider just a few of them. We have here the rip saw. The rip saw, mainly they have long grains. You have a picture here, and I believe if you browse, you could see better pictures than what you're seeing here. Secondly, we have the tenon saw. You can handle it, and that's why it's called a hand tool. They are used basically for tenons. You know, tenons has to do with jointing. So you use this and it will give you accuracy. We have here cupping saw. Now, most furniture workers, they make use of this. People who do designing, they make use of this particular saw. You can see the blade very tiny. It can achieve whatever angle, whatever curve accurately. Planes. Planes are cutting tools used to cut woods, smoothing them, and bring a desired finishing. The first on this is the jack plane. Now, this jack plane usually does the dirty job, okay? Especially when you bring in a wood that has a rough edge. It planes out the rough edge first before you use the smoothing plane. Now, the jack plane does a lot of the dirty job. The next we have is the smoothing plane. Like I said, this smoothing plane, the job is to make it smooth and give it an accurate finishing. You know, you have the leveled surface, smoothing out, and so the rough edges are out. Spoke shapes. These spoke shapes, usually the carpenters, they hardly make use of this because the jack plane and the smoothing plane can achieve this. But in a case whereby we have just small rough edges to smoothing out, the best tool to use is the spoke shave. You can browse better pictures to see the labeling. This is the teeth that does the cutting. Now, irrespective of all these tools, as you hear the name, cutting tools, you know, they have the cutting edge, and this cutting edge needs to be wet, meaning they need to be sharpened out. And we have the grinding or the sharpening tool. Now, it's just a grinder, okay? And what it does is that it helps to file out the rough edge. That's after use, because when you use your cutting tool, you need to sharpen it out to keep the edge sharp. And the grinding tool does that. We have a picture here of a chisel being sharpened. The same thing goes with the plane. Now, the cutting tool for this smooth plane is right here. And after using it, the carpenter brings it on this grinder and makes it smooth. In summary, woodwork cutting tool is a sharp-edged device used to remove excess layer from a wood piece, either by shearing, planing, in order to obtain a desired shape, size, and accuracy. We have examples of those cutting tools. We have the rip saw, we have the tenon saw, we have jack plane, we have the smoothing plane, we have the spoke shave, and you can go on and on. Uses. The rip saw said is used to cut timber along the grain, and I told you it has a longer cutting edge. The tenon saw used for cutting shoulders, tenon joints, and like I told you, it's used basically for jointing. Furniture workers, they make use of it mostly. I said the jack plane, they are used to remove rough sawn woods. You use the jack plane, then you use the smooth plane to give it a smooth finish. The spoke shave, like I said, used for removing light wooden particles. Like I said, most carpenters, they wouldn't want to make use of this, but in cases where it's required, just smooth edge or towards the edge of the wood, they'll go best for the spoke shave. Thank you.